I'm excited. I'm very excited. For the second time in 100 years, the first time in our lifetime, a blank was spotted in California.
Wow.
Interesting. Wait, you're really excited. You're very excited.
I like this animal a lot,
I'm gonna
and
say,
it's exciting to
okay.
see it.
Wild times.
Woo! Wild Times, episode
Oh,
number
yeah. Oh, yeah.
120, I'd say hours, but it's way more than that, of
Way
podcasting
more.
with you guys. Pretty good stuff. I'm your host, Forrest Gillnet, the broologist. Joining me tonight, the one, the only, the Spiceman, Mr. Papa P himself, the producer. What's going on, Papa
What
P?
is up, my friend?
How are you? Cheers.
Where's mine? Right here. I got my fat tire. Had some friends over last night till the wee hours of the morning.
Good.
And I went to get beer because one of the guys is a bodybuilder, but also a beer drinker.
Okay.
And I was like, he'll be into this carbon neutral thing. Like somehow in my mind that turned into low carb,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah.
But I drank about 100 of these last night. Struggling a little bit today.
Good for you.
And you look like you might have some little bags under your eyes there.
Yeah, I've been sick for like all weekend. So, yeah, we'll get into that. I'll finish the intros in a second here. And the one, the only, the PhD'd in podcasting, the professional, the professor. How are you, Peter?
I'm good. I've been waiting for a while for this public pod. I got something I want to talk about. It has to do with the fruit picker. Kyle, get prepared to pull up my Instagram.
Is there a reason you're
and-
so like down right now? Can you
Am I
just
down?
Yeah.
No, my volume?
He's getting ready to unleash.
he's ramping up.
I know.
Oh,
I've
okay.
known him
Like
too
my
long.
energy's down?
You're just like you're coming in real soft, and I'm wondering if you're just going to
Look at his
accelerate
eyes.
into
His
shenanigans.
eyes are
Yeah.
stunning. Look at Peter's eyes.
I'm really excited about this podcast. I wasn't lying.
Okay.
I'm like,
good.
it's
Very
just
good.
All right, what
public
happened with-
pod.
What happened with the FP?
The FP, the fruit picker?
Yeah.
Yes.
I got a
Indeed.
new one. That's all. I got a new fruit picker. It's the
Okay.
exact same model. They've been out of it at Home Depot. I posted a little story about it. Had a lot of fun picking fruit.
Ah,
You
If you
know,
know, you
I saw
know.
this earlier.
dude, look at that bunch of lemons. No squirrels on those,
Bro.
boy.
I think it's a blessing in disguise because these lemons are the best lemons that I've ever seen or tasted in my life. They're the size of a fucking cantaloupe. I'm real happy today, and yeah, that's it.
Do you
They're
think
the
that your
size of our
neighbor
guests.
feels the? Do you think that the neighbor feels the same way when she's poaching your lemons while you're sleeping with your fruit
Dude.
picker?
No, but I did. It's so funny because once you, by the way, if you haven't heard the fruit picker story, like you should just leave the podcast right now.
It's in
and go
like
back and listen
14
to it.
episodes, so yeah,
But-
go back.
But
find it.
now every time I like look at that tree, it gives me like a bad taste in my mouth. And today I noticed that when they were trimming their tree that we had to force them to do, the company bent a few of my lemon branches over the wall. So now that some of my lemons are hanging into their yard, I made a
prune it.
concerted effort to go and make sure that none of my fucking lemons are going to that house.
All right. Well, I'm glad
This
you got
is
your
an
lemons.
Animal and wildlife podcast.
The next time we come over, you better have fresh lemonade for us, and I'm not
Oh,
kidding.
Absolutely.
Can we do
And by the way,
something?
some-
Can I
some-
do something?
some
Can we do
cucumber
something? Can I
water,
do
too.
something? I want to do
Yes,
something.
please.
Can I do something?
Yes, you child.
All right.
Yeah.
Can we do what's in the news?
Here we go.
News.
Here we go.
All right, what's in the news? I'm excited. I'm very excited. I'll tell you why. I've got to say at least 50 brosteners sent this to me for the first time for the second time in 100 years, the first time in our lifetime, a blank was spotted in California. Before I say what it is, why don't you guys take a crack at it? Peter? Patrick?
Oh,
This
wow.
how recent? How recent?
Yesterday. Day before yesterday.
I'm going to say a polite person was spotted in LA.
Interesting. In
A good driver.
You got a few more of these.
is it? Wait, you're really excited. You're very
well.
excited.
I like this animal a lot,
I'm gonna
and
say-
it's exciting to
okay.
see it. So I haven't seen it.
I'm going to say
but
a
I'd
Rocky
like to.
Mountain. A Rocky Mountain wolf.
Ooh, good guess. Good guess.
I'm gonna go Tasmanian devil.
So close.
That'd be fascinating. That would be really fascinating.
Guys, for the second time in 100 years, a Wolverine has been spotted in Northern California.
Wow. Like the comic book guy, or? All right, I'll stop.
That's
the animal?
Pretty big deal. This is a rare animal. Wolverines are not typically in the Golden State. Department of Fish and Wildlife has confirmed that it's a legit sighting. Both sightings were in Inyo National Forest.
Really?
Yep.
Where's that?
Up near Yosemite.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
It's pretty exciting. I think it's fucking cool.
Well, yeah. So National Forest is really cool, by the way. It's a really cool spot.
Okay, so what's the deal with this? They've been extinct from our state for years, or
I don't think that I'd have to look this up. I don't think they were expatriated from California. I think it's just very rare for them to come this far south and this far west. So just to have them in California is pretty. They're a northern animal. They're a cold climate animal, and so to have them in Inyo around Yellowstone, the last one they found was up
Yosemite.
in Truckee. Sorry, what did I say? Yellowstone, Yosemite.
Sick. It's
too many fat tires.
Look at his eyes.
Yeah, the last one they found was up near Truckee. I don't know, 5 or 8 years ago or something like that. And so I don't know, pretty big deal. Like a Wolverine in California. That's exciting.
I mean, even just spotting a Wolverine in the wild in a known habitat where they live is very difficult. They're very, as Forrest likes to say, cryptic. They hide. You just don't see them a lot. There's not that many.
No,
interesting.
And they're cool.
I didn't even know they were in
the
United States. I thought these were an animal that only was in Africa or something. I know you think it's funny, but there are probably a lot of people who listen to the podcast.
I think
that's
right.
a good point. No, that's a good point. That's a good point. It actually is a good point because people think it's like a honey badger. It's like something that lives in Africa and rips people to shreds in another part of the world.
Let me ask you a quick question, Forrest.
Yes.
Wolverine versus honey badger.
Honey badger. I think Wolverines are a lot bigger, though. I have to double check that. I think Wolverines are significant. Kyle, get us some facts on this.
Let me tell you, and I'm not going to introduce him just yet, but our guest who's waiting backstage will certainly come on with a smug comment about this.
Yeah, he will, and he'll have all the facts.
He's got a smug comment about everything.
Not because he's already Googled it while we're sitting here and he's listening in, but because he actually knows the information. No, I'm fairly certain Wolverines are substantially larger than honey badgers, but riddle me this. You're a Wolverine. You're pretty much at the top of the charts in Canada and Alaska where you hang out. Nothing's going to fuck with you, okay?
Okay.
You're a honey badger. You're distinctly smaller. You live in Africa. There are leopards. There are cobras. There are lions. There are rhinos. You have to this is a classic case of not the size of the dog in the fight, the size of the fight in the dog. So I'm going honey badger.
For sure.
I'm saying that asshole, there's nobody going to take on a honey badger. He'll rip a Wolverine to shreds.
Dude,
let's see. Should we see what our esteemed esteemed guest thinks? Thanks, Kyle. I know they're way bigger. I didn't know the exact stats.
Dude, Kyle just popped. Producer Kyle, please come on the air real quick.
We need to have a talk.
Yeah.
So Kyle just sent a sassy message in the chat to Forrest. He's pissed off.
Nope. So
you got a capital word in there.
So yeah, I put
all caps.
Wolverine way bigger. And the reason I did that was because when I Googled how big a honey badger was, all that popped up was centimeter measurements. And I don't know how to convert those. So I was like,
so that's just small, no matter what. It's in centimeters. It's not big. Yeah, it's in feet. It's big. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. That was sassy. Forrest would like to meet with you after the show.
Yeah, we'll be having a talk.
Now, for our very own honey badger.
Hey, guys, if you're enjoying... Guys, if you like the Wild Times, check us out on Patreon. We put out 4 extra podcasts per month.
That's one commute a week that you're just going to be laughing and learning the whole time in the car. Hey, let me do something else. This is the late night content. The stuff that we can't show on YouTube because they'll kick us off YouTube.
It's the Cinemax of podcasts. Uncensored, raw dog. It's the Cinemax of podcasts. Check it out. Link right here.
Yeah, let's
bring him on.
We got a big announcement. Part 2.
Let's do it. Hey, there he is.
Yikes. What's up, buddy?
I'm
BTG.
so grateful you didn't bring me in for Lemongate, and I'm gonna back the Wolverine in the snow and the honey badger in the dirt. I mean, I really is a question of where the fight venue is, right? I think Wolverines aren't that much bigger. They're about maybe 5-10 pounds bigger, much bigger claws though. And when you say there's nothing much hassle them in North America and Canada, I mean, no. I mean, you've got wolves. You've got Canadian lynx. You got moose. Occasional mountain lion. I think I like this matchup. But this matchup, this is Lennox Lewis Tyson. It's a good fight.
They say that styles make fights. You know what I mean? So,
and I was at Lennox Lewis Tyson actually in Memphis, and I'm telling you, I know Tyson lost that and he got knocked out, but he missed Lewis's chin by 1 of Kyle's centimeters, which is not a real measurement. I mean, he missed by like just a bee's dick. It was nothing. And the fight would have been over twice in the first round had he connected, but in the end he got clubbed. It was awesome. But anyway, it's a pleasure to be back, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Good to see you, Forrest. Good to see DeLuca.
Yeah, buddy.
You're from Australia. No, I got to interrupt you because you're going to make fun of. All right,
he's not from Australia. He's not technically.
I just say, Richette, I don't know what's up with you, Richette. You look like the before picture in one of those horny goat weed ads.
By the way, look at BTG's hipster lumberjack fresh off. You just pulled the tag off that 30 seconds ago, son.
He started watching YouTube and was like, how to be cool in 2023. And threw this outfit together.
He wrote how to be relevant at 47.
That's me. I am just born again millennial. Actually that's not even it's just I just reek of Gen Z. So these fresh threads, this gorgeous gingham, this is actually one of my costume shirts from the live action part of Adventure Beast, the little things we did at the end. Yeah. And I'm being so lazy and so cheap. Instead of getting my dry cleaning, I'm just taking wardrobe out of the box.
Hey, Kyle, do me a favor. I got to interrupt for a second here. I got to interrupt for a second here. If you're listening to this, go to the YouTube right now. Kyle, pull up a picture. You're going to know the picture immediately. Google men over 30 in skinny jeans, and I'm certain it'll be the first picture that pops up. It'll be me. Every time I see this picture, I think of our esteemed buddy BTG.
Stand up, BTG. Let's get a drum roll. Let me see what kind of pants you got on under there.
I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah, there he is. Look at that. Tell me that isn't BTG right there.
Man, look at I wish I had that tight ass.
Look at those legs.
Look at that.
That's what my brand new baby's butt looks like.
That is my profile, but that ass is. I mean, that ass is tight. That is Victoria's Secret for men.
If you're only listening to the podcast, you should probably come and look at what the fuck we're talking about.
So BTG's wearing a shirt that's called Buffalo Check. I have several quilts and Afghans that I bust out at Christmas time of that decoration.
Who doesn't have an Afghan?
Yeah, I mean,
good point.
So an Afghan is a scarf, right? It's like a pashmina.
No, an Afghan's just another word for blanket that makes it sound fancy. I think.
Oh, God.
Is it?
Unless I've been using it wrong.
Skinny jeans.
I don't.
I'm a douche.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Forrest, let me ask you a question.
Please.
So my entire group of friends used to call Peter Cheap Jeans. That was his nickname because long after jeans were getting more tapered, Peter was still wearing very, very cheap, sort of loose fitting jeans.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm not one to buy new jeans. I was frugal at the time.
What about now?
Frugal at this time.
Remember he was eating those free KFC vouchers and sharing them as social currency? I mean,
right. I almost got fired from my job. It's a sore subject.
All right. So does anyone here have a pair of jeans where they'll wear them if they're like going out to dinner with their wife, but they won't wear them around like guy friends?
Oh yeah,
you're like they're a little too skinny.
Yeah, you're fashionable. Jeans.
I have a pair of off-white jeans that I can't believe I own.
And off-white, man.
Off-white, and I've only ever worn them to lunch events with my wife. True story.
With like a metal studded belt and a chain wallet.
Dude, that must show some serious cock bulge, though.
Yeah. I mean that's the point. You know,
that's nice.
I'm on show. I know it. She's flaunting me. I gotta play the part. You know,
you got your fake dick underwear on.
Yeah.
All right. So
I got my rubber retep on. That's right.
His rubber retep. The wife calls it the
Trademark.
retep. I don't know what that's about. Like,
I love that Forrest is now the one who's trying to keep the show on the rails. Like normally it's me who's stressed out and I'm thinking about things too much. It's Forrest right now.
This is what happens when you get a beer sponsor and your guest is hopped up on pills. This is
true.
What
is that giant thing of pills you have there? I hope they're hydrocodone.
You know what? I do have hydrocodone, but I save that for special occasions.
Coming over tomorrow.
White jeans time. No, it is just ibuprofen. My back is fucked 5 ways, so I'm just popping these puppies like Tic Tacs. And you know what? It's what I needed to get here tonight.
Yeah,
dude,
hold on. Before I segue, hold on. Before I segue us out of this, so there's an announcement coming. We'll get to that in a moment. It's exciting. There's a reason BTG is here on here tonight. But halfway through BTG preparing for said announcement, he sends a text to our group thread that goes, "Sorry guys, broke my back, going to be out for a couple weeks." Would you care to elaborate just a hair on that? I mean, that's what?
Well, first of all, I immediately texted everybody on the side and I was like, he's trying to bail. Full of shit. Bullshit. This is utter nonsense.
Look, it's a stupid story. I picked up a large, heavy box out of the garage. It was starting to split. You know, those big cardboard moving boxes, sort of 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. Mm-hmm. And they're just difficult. They're slippery and dusty. And this thing's splitting. I'm like, oh, don't.
Were you wearing the white pants?
Tripped over my baby gym set. Went down, and I was next to my wife's car, and I didn't want to smash in the side of my wife's car. So I sort of twisted, and I fell backwards over some gym equipment onto the concrete and didn't let go of the box. And so I crushed 3 discs in my back and got some pretty heavy nerve damage. And so the pain was, you know, and I know what pain is. It was just a absolute game over pain, and because I was having trouble moving my left foot, and I just thought, holy shit, I've really done my spinal cord here. And once I ascertained that it wasn't fully broken, there was I was okay. It was just jolts of pain, like sciatica, but just dialed up to 11. I'm such an idiot. I'm like, you know what? I'll walk it off. And so I started walking
every man
around the block, and I got about not even a quarter mile, and I'm like, I gotta sit down. And then I sat down and I go, whoop, that's worse. and so the only way it felt better was to lie in like the fetal position, like a bruised banana on my side on someone else's lawn. And finally I just kind of struggled home. And when my wife came back, I'm lying flat on the ground with my feet on the coffee table, just trying to work it out. Anyway, we went in for the x-rays, the MRIs, and found out I'd done a fair bit of damage. The good news is that's 2 months ago now. I am 80%, 90% better. And back to doing a lot of things, tons of rehab, tons of physio, injections in the spine.
Jesus Christ.
And that's going to be ongoing.
This is essentially what you have to look forward to, is that you will also trip over a toddler's play set and have your catastrophic injury.
When you don't have that young, supple 35-year-old body anymore.
I do indeed. And it's inevitable for those of us that put themselves in harm's way and barely escape by the skin of their teeth constantly, that you have to hurt yourself doing something very mundane.
Dumbest thing possible.
Isn't that the truth of it, though? We do all this crazy stuff, and I have my nipple ripped off by a reindeer, but the rest of it's just boring stuff. You know, it's just that little slip, and then all of a sudden your knee's facing the wrong way, and you're holding 2 soft serve ice cream cones, and you're like, how does this happen?
Yeah, especially when you're as old as you are. I mean, the whole setup to the everything that you were explaining before the serious injury was like the setup for the beginning of like a romantic comedy movie.
Oh my God, yeah.
True. That's right.
True.
Cute meat.
Yeah.
They call it a hashtag cute meat.
It's called a meat cute.
Meat cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows that? I'm disappointed.
Just because you're from the southern hemisphere doesn't mean you reverse a meat cute, son.
Meat cute for cute meat.
BTG. When I think of Australia, I think of a lot of things. One is silly people, funny accents. Another one is Australians learned from their mistakes and have become good conservationists. That's what I think. Okay?
Interesting.
I could be wrong. That's just the impression that I get. right?
I
Which
love
is
that you
like,
get
all
that
right,
impression. I mean, you could make that argument about some parts of the U.S., for example.
oh, I would say the whole of the U.S. I would say the U.S. in general has been like, wow, we really fucked up. Like we eliminated our bison and we nearly crashed all of our fisheries, and now we have pretty strict regulations around all of those species. So yeah, I mean, I agree, but continue.
I think that, I think you give yourself a lot of praise there. I'm going to back that compliment down to like a 7 and emphasize the sum of America. I think that's definitely true. But what I think they have in common is a shift of basically back in the 19th century, if you had a ton of money and you love wild places and wild things, you would get together an expedition on a ship and go shoot something or film it, or later on you'd film it, you take photographs, you paint it, you go on that. Now, with much of the world has been obviously at least discovered, if not studied, now what's happening in the US and Australia and other affluent nations is people get a bunch of money and then they buy and rewild habitat, and that's happening a lot more in the US. I mean, you want to talk about bison. I mean, if it wasn't for Ted Turner's billions, I mean, who would have thought watching the Atlanta Braves would pay for anything? And then that's what happened with CNN and the TNT and all these things. And that's happening in Australia too. We're doing a lot more of that. But I will say this is what gives me heart. Talk about some of the recent events in Alaska, trying to drill near salmon hatcheries and a whole bunch of different things. And concerned citizen groups unifying, indigenous peoples, fishermen, other industries, tourism. They get together and fight against what would destroy the habitat. And I think Australia has done that as well, but we are not perfect. I mean, where I come from in Tasmania, which I think is heaven on earth, we have those filthy salmon farms off the coast that destroy.
I thought you were going to say Tasmanians. I thought you were going to say we have those filthy Tasmanians just running around ruining the place.
We are pungent. We are pungent. We are not filthy. And there is a difference, and you fucking know it.
Well, we're all human and we all suck.
So, given that my general feelings towards Australia is like, wow, they're sort of forefront of conservation now. You can imagine my shock when I read a headline today, which says conservationists welcome Gillnet fishing ban in the Great Barrier Reef World Heritage Site. As in, they've been gillnetting in the Great Barrier Reef World Heritage Site up until now, and will continue to, by the way, until 2027. The ban is to take place by 2027.
That's the Great Barrier Reef.
Which part of the Great Barrier Reef? Which part of it? Because it's huge. It's bigger than most countries. Where is it?
Yeah, I mean, I know there are net-free. Look, I know it's in Queensland. I know there are net-free zones. I haven't looked at a map of it, but I was just shocked.
Fast. I mean, look, that shocks me as well. I've spent a lot of time up there, dived a lot of it, sailed all through it from the bottom to the top. So that does surprise me because I've never seen a fishing boat there at any time I've been there. So I don't really know what that means. I wonder if it had anything to do with indigenous fishermen or the Northern Third, says Kyle, Gulf of Carpentaria. Okay, that makes more sense. So in the north, we share the fishing waters with a number of our northern partners from Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. It's a difficult and tense area. A lot of indigenous fishing rights there. The Gulf of Carpentaria is probably, in my opinion, what you would call shrimp and I would call prawn, the best fishery for shrimp and prawn on the planet. Huge protected bay, warm waters. I mean, these banana shrimp, get up to over 12 inches long. Not scampi, just shrimp. And it's the most delicious, great fishing too. I've caught incredible giant trevally up there. It's a terrific place for fishing. Now, I know that they have those monstrous factory ships for the shrimping. I know that that's there. So Forrest Gump, gone on steroids is what they have up there. I don't know how this is relevant to that, but
that would be a trawler. This is talking about gillnets specifically.
Yeah, but you run out behind well, isn't that a similar thing, but on a smaller scale?
No, not typically. So gillnetting usually is where you set a large, long net, and whatever swims into it gets stuck. Whereas trawler will actually
on the buoys.
On buoys, exactly. Whereas a trawler, put a big net out, drag it, and scoop it up.
You set and forget the gillnet.
Yeah,
exactly.
So Kyle pulled up a picture here, so you can clearly see.
I didn't know anyone in the first world was doing any developed country was doing that.
I was shocked. But also, I want to go back to something here, and I think this is an important thing to talk about for a moment, which is the whole, it's tragedy of the commons, right? Oh, well, the Gulf of Carpentaria is shared waters between us and 2 other nations. Well, we're not going to stop fishing it because they're not going to stop fishing it, right? That's the mentality behind those things. That's tragedy of the commons.
Often the case, like carbon emissions,
Yeah.
Oh, right. I mean, you could with a zillion different things, but I mean, at least Australia, assuming that those other nations do not have the same legislation in place, which I highly, highly doubt if it's Indonesia, Papua, Solomon Islands.
No.
Yeah. Then at least Australia is making a stand in the right direction there. So I don't know. I was just shocked.
Maybe that's the real value of this. The real value of this is the public declaration that this form of fishing is off the table. But look, I'm all for trumpeting the great victories of conservation in the Southern Hemisphere, many of which are originated or run by my fellow Australians. But I would say I'm often shocked that certain things are happening. You were just out at Ningaloo, right? Not that long ago.
Yeah. Like about a month ago.
Did you see the damage of some of the trawlers that have come through and just ripped apart those coral beds and all these giant fan corals? The biggest I've seen on the planet, call me a liar, biggest golf ball coral, the biggest fan corals I've ever seen, I've seen on the west coast of Western Australia, Ningaloo and the Marion Islands. And then you get these parts that just look like someone has dragged a giant rake across the ground. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. And so we are guilty of doing that. But I think that the larger takeaway is that it only takes 1 or 2 of these industrial size fishing enterprises to destroy an ecosystem for a very long time. You can unfuck it, but it takes a lot of money, a lot of will, and a lot of patience, and
a lot of good people who aren't
a lot of good people.
Shitty.
And that's getting done, but it's so much more effort to fix something that was damaged than it is to just you know what? We'll make one more sweep on the reef, see what we get, and boom, you've crushed a habitat for 20 million species.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I didn't see them, but everybody, do you know Jake Wilton? He's a very well-known underwater photographer from that part of the world. He's a buddy of mine. I've seen his work,
but no, I don't know him personally, no.
Yeah, so he was telling me all about it. So I haven't seen it. He showed me some pictures. I do think that it's interesting. So we were in Coral Bay and then in Exmouth, and Coral Bay is like, it's like one of these little hippy dippy towns where everybody wants to save the dolphins. And I mean this in a very positive light, but it's like, everybody's like, oh, let's save the dolphins. They're like all these hippie weird.
Yeah, that's exactly how we sound. Uh-huh.
It is. Yeah, it is. And, but in a good way. So it had this whole vibe and aura of conservation in that town. And not like a consumptive thing. And it almost had a feeling of imbalance where it's like, oh, well, they're not talking about, and maybe it was just the people that we were working with, but it was like, oh, they're not talking about the reality of what's actually going on. Instead, they're doing the whole going too far overboard to try and promote the conservation, if you know what I mean, where it's it's pushed so far beyond it. Yeah, it sounds disingenuous.
It doesn't sound plausible, doesn't sound real. Yeah, it's interesting because some of the best projects I've ever seen were run by farmers, who just had a passion for wildlife. They loved where they lived. They felt accountable for some of the things that they were part of that had damaged the environment, and they wanted to be part of the solution. They'd set aside part of their property to rewild. They'd also fenced off areas for soft release for native birds and small mammals that have been wiped out by feral cats and foxes. You don't have to be a hippy dippy to get into it, obviously. Look at us. What a pack. I mean, seriously, how many assholes can you put in True Religion jeans? I don't know. At least 4, based on what I'm seeing now.
Those haven't been relevant.
Hippy dippy or hipster doofuses.
All right, I want to play a game, guys. I want to play a game.
Ooh, I love Pat's games. What do you got for us today,
good.
Papa PP?
Well, I mailed each of you. You got your FedEx, right? I mailed each of you a Monopoly board. We're going to just do like a 4 or 5 hour game.
I'm in. All right.
No,
I'm the top hat.
We're playing a new game.
Okay.
Not new. We just haven't done it in a while. Fact or fiction.
Ooh.
We got a tweet the other day. People want more fact or fiction.
Okay. So this was made by our producer that's not Kyle.
I am
Billy.
going to host the game, Billy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because I'm the best
Billy,
host
the
here.
anti-AI.
Even though Forrest and BTG have done hundreds of hours of television, I am the host.
Indeed.
I'm going to test two sort of wildlife biologists adjacent type guys and a moron.
Yo,
Ooh.
come on now. I'm not
Yo.
a moron.
Oh wow!
Sorry,
you outed
thought
yourself
that
by
was funny.
saying that.
Don't-
So now you're the double moron.
Yeah.
Also,
All
don't rebuke yourself by going, yo. That's not
Listen,
like if you
I'm
don't,
the
if
fucking
somebody
funny
calls you
guy.
a moron, don't be like, yo. That's
Yo, I'm the
I think
funny
the
guy.
first way to paint yourself as a moron.
F off.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just list some things that are maybe they're old wives' tales, things that aren't really true. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Okay.
Quick
Old
vote,
wives' tales.
and I will keep score.
All right,
We're gonna
order of response.
We're gonna go Peter first every time.
Yep.
Good.
BTG,
Lovely.
Yep.
then Forrest.
Great.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
I'm
Okay.
gonna be quick on my feet.
Fact or fiction? Owls can rotate their heads
Ooh.
360 degrees.
No, that's fiction. It would be 180 and then back. There would be no reason for them evolutionarily to have to go all the way around.
BTG. One sentence at most.
It's funny because it's true.
That's why we
okay.
gave you your own show.
I love it. Vision wise, yes. Vision wise, they can see 160 by turning their head. Actual rotation of their head is just short of 360. It's about 340.
Forrest. Will you be thrown off by BTG? His confidence.
He
will
added
you
numbers
answer
in
the
there.
way you wanted to.
No, I'm
answer?
just going fact. I'm just going to play the game the way the game's supposed to be played.
It's
fact.
the cologne that gives me the it's my Sex
That's
Panther.
true.
Fiction.
Yeah, in the shirt.
Fiction.
All right. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance.
That is, for some reason, I feel like I've heard this before. I got to go fact on that one.
BT.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's fact. Although if it was up to me, I would call them a Liberace.
Why?
You've just alienated one fan.
Yep. That is three
What?
for
No, they're
fact.
gorgeous. I mean, what are you talking about? It's like all that
Gorgeous.
color movement and the. It's like, you kidding me? You didn't see Liberace play live on television? It's a Liberace.
Dude, we're in our 30s. Liberace's, what was that? Like when I Love Lucy was
70 years ago.
My mom loved Liberace. I was a little kid and he came on. We would watch it.
All right.
Yeah, I could tell.
Number 3.
I'm laughing at my own joke.
Penguins mate for life.
Oh gosh. Oh, my turn. I'm gonna say yes. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've watched a documentary. This is they definitely like go out while the woman stays home and protects the egg and leave for like 2 weeks and come back.
Woman.
So I'm gonna
The
say
woman.
yes.
Yeah,
As it should be, right, Peter?
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean? They're fucking Liberace penguins.
Did you watch that new Netflix show, Penguin Fuck?
Yeah.
I don't think Netflix has a show with the word "fuck" in the title. But
Okay. Well, I'll tell you. I'm gonna.
Yeah, they
build
do.
on-
Don't fuck with cats. That's a Netflix show.
That's
true.
Yeah.
it's true. The U was asterisk though.
The
BB.
So I'm going to say the point of what you're saying in terms of the vagary of this question. I'm going to say yes, it's a fact generally. However, they are unfaithful as fuck, and a number of female penguins in particular will have sex just to get a stone to add to the nest. They'll go around, have sex with all the males, get their stones, build this beautiful nest. But in terms of do they pair up?
Wait, like an actual stone, a rock?
Yeah, they make
because
it out of rocks.
there's no sand in Antarctica.
Wow.
There's
That is
just
down low.
crushed pumice stone and so forth. So yeah, I've been down there, watched them do it. Penguins be banging, and the males are just as bad. I remember, and we put this in Adventure Beast. I saw this myself. Male penguins will have sex with a dead female's corpse.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate penguins now.
Yeah.
It's awful.
And-
Come
But-
on.
A
Yeah,
dead?
Patrick-
Why a dead? There's no
Patrick, did you-
evolutionary advantage to it.
Because
Patrick, did
there's
you
no
get all that?
external-
Because I'm not sure if that was fact or fiction.
No,
from
there's
what
no
Noah
external-
said
I've
15
recorded
minutes
my
ago.
score. Yes, I've recorded my score.
Listen, that was the most interesting thing I've heard on this podcast in 100
Agreed.
episodes. So
Agreed.
No, it's
all
because
right.
there's no
Hang on.
external genitalia, and they see the ass in the air, and they think she's up for it. She's presenting, and there'll be a conga line of rapists come and have a shot at the title. Penguins are astonishing.
Conga line of rapists.
wow, I'm
all
not
right,
going to make
well,
a joke about that because we'll get
I'm just
canceled.
gonna
But I really want to.
Yeah.
I'm
Forrest.
just gonna say fiction because I thought it was seasonal, but anyway, fiction for me.
All right. Here we go. Next one. Koalas are bears. Peter.
Dude, come on. They're called koala bears, so this has to be fiction.
BTG.
It is
Yes or
fiction.
no?
It is fiction.
Forrest.
Well, what am I supposed to say? Fact just to break it up? Now it's 3 fictions. Come
This
on,
is
let's go.
Billy who
You-
did this.
you-
Billy's your guy.
He is my
You
guy.
say,
Sure.
say what you think. Hey,
Fiction.
I like these. These are interesting.
They are
just-
interesting. I will
agreed.
give them that.
Sometimes learning something obvious is fun. Like I just learned
That's why I'm
today
on this
that the
podcast.
ABC song, A B
C,
C D,
D, E.
it's the same tune as
We're not gonna
Twinkle
sing-
Twinkle Little
Oh,
Star.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
Mary
shocking.
had a
I
little
had
lamb.
no
Holy shit.
idea. I had
Huh.
no fucking clue.
I
All right,
didn't know
next.
that either.
Cheetahs can reach speeds of 70 miles per hour. True or false? Is that just one of those things you've heard, or is it actually true and they can?
Fiction. I'm going to say more near 50 miles an hour.
I think Retep is more accurate. 70 is recorded in a number of sources. So, according to your question, yeah, the answer would be fact. However, I have never seen a cheetah do it, and I've been to a lot of cheetah runs. So,
High five. High
Okay.
five. Thank you, buddy.
I'm going fact. Fact. They're very
All
fast.
right.
Very fast animal.
Have you seen one, Forrest? Have you ever seen one run?
I've seen him at full speed. I've seen him take down Impala. I didn't have a little police, like doo-doo-doo-doo
a
thing with me.
baseball gun on him. Yeah.
That could
Yeah,
be a
didn't
new
have
show.
one of those.
Forrest, I've clocked you at 68. So if they were running faster than you,
Yeah,
Get the hell
that's
out of
it.
here.
yeah, when you chase the sheep.
This must have been
Yeah.
pre-jungle potato
What?
naked and afraid.
All right. Is this true or false,
Someone-
guys? Fact or fiction? Elephants cannot jump. They simply cannot jump.
Wow. This is interesting and funny because I actually
Can't jump.
I have an elephant.
I'm the size of an elephant. I posed this question to Forrest in one of our bonus podcasts when you had to go do a meeting or some bullshit outside, and we made fun of you. And then this was one of the questions I posed, and I still don't fucking know. So I'm gonna say, fact, even though I think
Okay.
it's fiction.
Okay.
I'm
Pete?
gonna say fact too. Never seen it ever. I've seen rhinos go so fast that briefly, for a split second, all 4 feet were off the ground at full gallop. Never seen an elephant do that. Not a conventional jump. No, that's a fact.
That would technically be a jump, right? All 4 feet are up. That's a jump.
You got to
If
be
a
fully
rhino's running
airborne,
like
right?
that.
For
Yeah.
even a split second.
Yeah, no, elephant had definitely go on their back too, but they never all fours off.
I've seen BTG. I've known BTG for probably 10 years. Never seen him jump.
There you go.
Valid
There
point. Valid
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I just next time we hang out in person, I'd like a little jump, please.
All right, well,
Forrest.
you have to stand on like a footstool so you can see me do it.
I want to
This
see
is
your
a-
legs right
This is
now.
one I know. This is a fact. Elephants cannot jump.
Look at
Okay.
those legs. Look at those legs.
So,
All right.
wearing jeans is a crime when you have legs that pretty.
Now this next one is, I believe, is very interesting.
you got?
Giraffes, as Forrest might say,
Indeed.
have the same number of neck bones as a human.
Nah, that's fiction. It's ludicrous.
That's a fact.
Nah, it's not.
Fact.
Forrest,
Fact. If it's African animals, I probably know them. So yeah, fact on that one.
Yeah, it's one of the great anomalies. You think they can't possible with all that neck real estate, and yet
lot of room for cool tats.
That's
All right. Last
Cool
one.
neck tats.
Is this a fact or is this just an old wives' tale that we've heard through the years? Honeybees die after they sting.
Wow, that's a tough one because I want to say that this is You're very specific about the type of bee, and I think that makes it a fact because I love honeybees, and God would do anything to hurt me, so they die after one sting.
It's good that you know that. It's good that you know that.
He's come to terms.
Yeah. I respect that. Well, see, not all bees have stings, Retep. So we had to name a stinging bee number one.
That's true.
But
that I wouldn't know though.
That's true. It is a fact. It's the sting. The barbs get embedded and rips out a lot of the viscera of the bee's abdomen. But it's even worse for the drones because the stinger is also their dick. And after they have sex with the queen in midair, his dick and genitals explode to block her genital opening so other bees don't copulate with her. So fact, and what a way to go.
Holy shit.
I think BTG said it all. Yeah, fact.
What if he's making that up?
There's a benefit to going last in this case. Here.
You got a sick mind if you're making that up.
All right.
No, it's legit. It's legit. I mean, talk about smoking after sex. I mean, your dick just blew off.
You know a lot about animal sex.
All right.
You're
last
welcome.
one.
Thank
And
you.
I'm just going to say this. Someone's in the lead. Someone's one behind.
Ooh.
There's an opportunity to tie and go to a tie break if this works out the right way.
Wow.
Here we go. Get ready for this.
I'm ready.
Bats are blind.
You know, bats blind, the whole alliteration thing is one thing, but
That's a big part of it.
I
That is a
mean,
big
it's
part of it.
definitely like something that unless you specifically remember from the science class what they said, you would say, yes, they're blind. So therefore, I'm going to go, no, they are not fully 100% blind.
Okay. B?
No. I mean, no matter how you regard blindness in this context, they're not.
Forrest
literally thinks they're blind.
I'm convinced they're blind, just for the sake of a tiebreaker, not because they're actually blind.
Oh, he went for the tie break, and he got it.
Oh, you're saying that owls can do 360?
He's actually keeping tally.
Hang on, BTG. So
I
He's upset.
assumed what I was saying was I was assuming that you and I were 1 point differential.
Sure.
And that I had to guess the opposite of you in order to either
that was
drastically
correct.
lose
Extend
or
the
win
game.
that differential. Yeah.
Forrest purposely tanking like a cocky rugby bro.
Let's go.
BTG.
Oh, so he would have won. I get it.
Yeah,
I
BTG and
respect
Forrest
that.
tie with 8. Peter gets 6. Quick answers. Quick.
Yep.
Owls can rotate their heads 360 degrees. It was written as fact. No, it's written as fact. BTG, you were docked a point.
All
Oh,
right.
see, so there could be an argument.
No, fuck that. This is right. A group of flamingos
Brosteners, comment if you disagree.
is indeed called a flamboyant. Penguins mate for life is fiction. So BTG did get the point because he knew the whole story behind it and why it was called fiction.
Okay.
Koalas are not bears. Cheetahs can reach speeds of 70 miles per hour.
Is that recorded? Yeah.
Yep, recorded fact. Bats are not blind. Elephants cannot jump. Giraffes do have the same amount of neck bones as a human. And honeybees do in fact die after they sting.
That's
so
sad.
we've got a tie break here.
And can we use Retep as like ask a friend, like phone a friend? We can ask
Yes,
him advice.
yes,
Gonna help.
please. No typing, Retep. No typing.
Okay, no typing.
All right. I'm going to Google something because the one on here is not good enough.
But I just want to put out there and listen, I know I'm not as smart as everybody here on this panel except for Pat, but I will say that I had to answer first in every single
That's true.
under
That's
the
true.
threat of being yelled at for going too slow. So just remember that as
well.
as
That's valid. That's valid.
All
Okay.
right.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at bite force. We're going to go back to the well.
Classic.
Okay.
Classic.
Yeah.
Make it good.
Classic Papa
I'm going to
B
do
question.
some quick math, and it's going to be whoever gets closer
Oh,
and you're
this
gonna
is gonna be tough.
you're gonna submit your
nice.
answer in the chat.
Oh, in the
Wow.
chat?
Okay.
Yeah. So, how many times more bite force does a hippo have than a human? Right? So if a human
Okay.
bites your finger and then a hippo bites your finger, how many times harder will the hippo bite your finger?
Wow. And
Anybody
bite
want to
force
phone
is-
ring? Want to phone a friend? Or
By the way, I just realized everyone can see the chat. So Forrest, go
Correct.
ahead and announce your answer.
22 times.
No.
20. I didn't know why the chat, but I was like, yeah, whatever. 22 times is my guess. That
nobody
is
phoned a
completely
friend. Why'd you
blatant
even
guess.
bring it up, dicks?
Sorry.
Well-
Peter, what do you think, buddy?
That's fine. I would have said 22 or 40. So I don't know.
BTG says 40.
I'm gonna because I'm guessing that humans top out at what, somewhere to 60 to 80.
No way. See, that I know is wrong.
What is
I'll
it?
just say that. It's
No,
over
he's-
100 for sure.
Oh, is it? Oh, it might-
Average is 70.
oh
70,
well,
100.
So I'm not completely out of the pot. So I'm going to say that's because remember the bite force for big animals is arbitrary because you get them to bite on a pressure gauge and it's like they're not biting as hard as they can. So you're kind of guessing a little bit. Yeah, I was assuming that it was going to be something about 4,000 or 5,000.
You're
give or
saying,
take.
you're saying 40 times. Peter says 22. The winner is our guest,
Nice.
a new member of the Wild Times crew, BTG, 180 times.
Wow. That's a
Can I
lot of
just?
time.
So, what is the PSI of the human bite force?
It
70.
depends on the source, but anywhere from 70 to like 120.
Yeah, I remember biting down on a pressure gauge
and
at
then what-
USC, and it was like, and I bit pretty hard, but not as hard as I could, and it was around 60. And I thought, if I really, really put my jaw into it, I could go a little more, but it wasn't that.
You're gonna
much.
break your fucking teeth. Whereas
Yeah.
a hippo, we're
Crack
looking
your
at
teeth.
12,000.
Oh, see,
Oh,
that's
wow.
a big,
ludicrous.
that's a
Deal-
big number
deal
that I
with
would
that.
normally accept. I would say
Yeah.
that's a very inflated number. I would
That's
say.
Well,
too
let me
much.
just say, I mean,
shit.
congratulations, BTG. I
Thank
do
you.
want to say to any brosteners listening to this podcast, if you disagree with the results or any of the questions, if you want to
Just
fact
if you
check it,
disagree with
leave
us in
it
general.
in the comments. If you want to support anybody else, maybe the winner, the not winner, somebody who wasn't even included in the final two, feel free to support them in the comments and argue for why a human bite force is between 120 and 160 psi.
All right. I think we've buried the lead here for 47 minutes. For
Yeah.
I love it. I
Forrest,
said if BTG
come
comes on
on
the
in.
podcast, none of us will get a word in edgewise
Sure.
anyways.
I'll
no,
do
he
it.
let us get in plenty of words.
I'll do
We
it,
got
but
a
I
few
will.
in.
I will
I
preface
love it.
I'll make the announcement, but I will preface it by saying this. Hey, Broasters, thank you for being loyal subscribers. We appreciate everything that you do. And now we have a membership offer for you.
I think you can get ad-free episodes, I heard.
That's pretty big.
Ad free's big, but you can also get your comments looked at so we don't have to sift through the millions.
How do you do that?
Sir.
Is there some sort of badge system?
There's a badge system, a loyalty badge. Boom. Shows up next to your name in the comments. Boom. We read the comment.
All this badge talks make I'm going to the badge store.
He's going to
You're
get
a
a badge.
badger.
He's gonna buy one. Didn't earn it. He's gonna buy one.
He did a fake leave.
I assumed Kyle would know to cut
Embarrassing.
on the motion.
All right, let's cut now. That's our ad. Before we jumped on, we're like, all right, let's open the show, chat for a few minutes, have BTG on for 5 minutes to talk about his big announcement, and then continue with the show. We've been on for 48 minutes and 12 seconds, and we are
It's
starting.
funny. Forrest
we are
is
starting
sick
right now.
beforehand.
You
We're
promised
like, we
me
just
a
wanna-
battle royale, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
haven't done shit.
No,
That's true.
Let me before you even do the announcement.
Oh,
Before
it's-
the podcast
By the way,
started.
Forrest, minute 55, you can make the announcement.
Before
Yeah,
the
yeah,
podcast
yeah.
started.
He's going aliens.
We got to get this podcast done for the Broasters. Like, we're doing 6 a month. Like, Forrest is busy.
Yep.
Everybody's busy. We're pulling this together. Forrest is sick. And so he's like,
He's got
he goes,
diarrhea. He's wearing True Religion jeans. It's just a
and
disaster
we're
waiting to
trying to
happen.
figure
was
this
until
out.
the
Everybody's
diarrhea
like, let's
kicked
just,
in. Yeah.
let's just get through the podcast as fast as possible. BTG
Yep.
comes on. Here we are, 50 minutes later.
Yep.
Still on.
I
Loved every
regret
minute of it.
nothing. I've had a good time.
Patrick is leaving. Oh,
Bye
boy.
bye. He doesn't want to be here for the announcement.
No, he's
Boom.
going to get a new beer.
He's
All
gonna
right, well,
hide in the
listen.
fridge.
Here we go. This is a big deal. All right.
It's
This is-
huge. So
This is
hyped
a
up
huge
about this.
thing. We've been excited about this for many months. It started months ago before BTG had his his playset accident. And drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bradley Trevor Grieve will be the new and everlasting host of his very own podcast on the Wild Times.
There it is.
God, that was
Thank
bad.
you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
You know,
Well, tell us
tell us
this.
about it.
I'm glad you asked, Forrest. And, you know, I just want to appreciate the support. So when I smash my back, I just go, you lazy prick. You just doesn't want to do this show. That's the kind of love and support that gets you out of bed in the morning.
Absolutely.
I have been looking forward to doing this for a long time. I want to thank Wild Times for getting me to do it. New podcast coming out on YouTube on June 20th and all the other platforms, June 20th. So enjoy your Juneteenth long weekend.
Yeah, baby.
I will help ease you back into real life.
Right.
Semi-Indestructible is the name of the pod, and it contains
fitting.
all the stuff that we love talking about, slightly different tag, with some in-depth interviews with some great people. All the members of this podcast, obviously, Pat, Forrest, Retep, all going to be there. Billy Armand, who is my co-host on Little Giants.
Nice.
Evan No Neck Nelson can talk about strength and pain. Lots of great friends coming and talk about issues in depth. It's a lot of fun. It starts with the basis of everything that I believe. The testicle shredding terror minus death equals adventure. How do we do it?
I was the guest for that one.
How do we survive it? It's going to be a lot of fun. And I just can't wait for June 20th to come around.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Oh,
go
go
ahead,
ahead,
guys.
Peter.
Sorry.
Okay, so there's the logo right there. Are we gonna we might show you a little bit of a teaser for it, but it's gonna be airing opposite every Monday that the Wild Times airs, so that you have something to fucking sink your teeth into every single week.
I'm the XFL.
For now.
Yeah.
that's funny. Listen, we get the number one comment that I read on the very rare occasions that I actually read comments is, you guys are so fucking inconsistent. I wish there were more podcasts. You never release it. The number two comment that I get is more BTG. We got to have
It's
BTG.
true.
Get rid of
It
that
is true.
long-haired weird guy and add BTG.
Hey,
Things
that's
like
not
that.
true, but yeah.
So this is a combination of those two comments, which is more BTG, more content. Tell us a little bit more. I know they're in-depth podcasts, BTG, but tell us about the topics, the subject matter. You know, you're taking a different approach. It's not just three guys bantering, drinking Fat Tire. Tell us about your approach to the podcast.
Which I love, but I think the way you guys drink Fat Tire and banter, you need a week off. And
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed.
And so I come in, sober up, maybe a few pills. That's legal.
I'm
And
coming over.
And I bring in interesting people to talk about things we don't talk about. And I know that Retep and I snuck off into a cupboard, Boris Becker style, and had a little chat.
Yeah,
and
it was nice.
You know, we did. We covered some stuff. You think you know Retep, you don't know Retep.
That's the thing about it. It's deeper.
Some of his life experiences I found surprisingly moving, actually. And I've always liked Retep. I think everyone does. But
Pretty likable.
Everybody on this podcast
Shut
that
the
we
fuck
bring
up,
in,
Forrest.
and guests like myself, we've all done a lot of different things, but we never get time to talk about them in depth. So, for example, one of my guests is Ian Recchio. Ian Recchio is the worldwide leader on varanids. Okay, these are
Cool.
giant goannas and monitors, Komodo dragons, etc. And he was at the center of the world debate on whether or not Komodo dragons are venomous. And there's a whole movement using this, X-ray and crystallography and so forth to see that these now somewhat redundant saliva glands were once functional as venom glands. So it's this really fascinating study that's going on. He's done some tests that completely refute that. And it's really interesting. And he also knows more about, think about North America from a state point of view, and it is basically pit viper heaven. And he is the pit viper expert. He is the guy, and he does it all around the world. He's in Europe in projects. He's all through North America, spends a lot of time in Africa and Southeast Asia. So he is the most respected herpetological curator west of the Mississippi. He's the man. And I'm very glad to have him as a longtime friend. He was a consultant on Little Giants, but he and I go way back when the former curator of LA Zoo, Mike D, my dear friend who passed away a few years ago, he introduced us. We've been friends ever since, and a great resource for me and my real world expeditions. So to have him come in and just talk shop and answer the kind of questions that snake nerds like us have. I mean, that's like you're answering to a higher power. And plus, he's just a lot of fun. He's a fun guy. So we're going to have talent like that. And we're going to just basically get all the questions out that we wanted to ask, find out about people. And
will you do any shirtless pods? People want to know.
It's what the people want.
All of them.
It's what the
Give
people
us a taste.
Well, I will say,
this is Velcro. I can just.
I've spent many an evening in Juneau, Alaska, drinking craft beer with BTG. I've had lunch with him many times. We've had sleepovers, quite frankly.
We've brunched. We're big brunches. We're not ashamed of it.
If there's anyone in the world who needs a podcast, it's this guy.
Agreed.
And if there's anyone in the world who just is too technologically stupid to figure it out on his own, it's this guy. And so Peter and Kyle offered to figure it out for him. It's dude, the one that we did, I was like, this is great. Like, I'm gonna listen to this in the car.
Yep.
And I think the core, Wild Times crew is going to fucking love this podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
I really do.
I hope
It's
so.
going to be really good.
I hope so. And I'm looking forward to the questions. We've already got some, we've leaked a few things here or there. People have been sending me questions and prompts for what they want to talk about here.
Nice.
Great.
I've been loving it. And I apologize for being so stupid with tech. I mean, Discord, I probably joined and set up 5 profiles because I can't remember how to log back in. But so, keep them coming. And I think I'm going to save some episodes just to answer. There's a lot of people out there that listen to Wild Times who know a lot about niche subjects and have questions that we can perhaps help them answer. So I'm hoping to spend a lot of time interacting more directly with the fans. But I have to say, just from a pure knowledge porn point of view, being able to drag friends out and just wring all the knowledge and the great stories out of them. I had a guy on today, Evan Nelson. I was there when he saved a man's life. Like, the guy died next to us in the gym, just dropped dead and turned blue. And we stopped the workout. Obviously, I finished my set, and then we stopped the workout.
Obviously.
And he went over there with the paddles, and he brought this man back to life. And then we had an energy drink. And then we kept working out. And
High five.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just, we slapped each other's asses and we got back into it.
PTG, where can people, I love the approach that you're taking, by the way. Where can people send you their in-depth sort of niche questions, things that you just can't Google and get an instant answer? Where would people send those questions to you? Kyle will put it up on screen.
The platform that I probably check the most is Instagram. My handle's here. It's at Tasmanian _ Grizzly.
He's definitely on Vicodin.
I'm not. It's prescription. At Tasmanian _ Grizzly. That's probably the best place to do it. But also, as you do every week, every 2 weeks, you put those comments under the YouTube, particularly with Wild Times.
Sure.
I'll get it, and I'll have a look at it. But don't be afraid to push the boundaries. It's a legit question. Yeah. If you've got an expedition you're planning for, let's be honest. It's not just me you're speaking to. I'll reach out to my friends and colleagues and these clowns, and I just, like I do in real life. I had a problem in Madagascar. Yeah. I just called Pat and said, our fix is a fuckwit. Who you got? and Pat was actually leaving as we were coming in, gave me a name, and within 12 hours, I had that person on the ground. We help each other all the time, help each other out all the time. So, if you have a question about anything to
Kyle,
do with wildlife,
throw his home address up there and his phone number.
Send him.
Make sure the area code's in it.
Send him snail mail.
Put up Retep's swatting address.
We are really excited. It's very, very good.
Yeah,
it's a really good show. I think people are going to like listening. I think they're going to like watching, see your face.
Really?
Wouldn't kill you to get a spray tan, but
funniest thing you've ever said.
We can do that. But here, I want to do something quickly here.
Yes,
it's not even going to be that quick, but I want to do it.
Is it?
I think I know what time it is.
Sorry, I didn't know what
time it is.
Yeah, it's time. It's time. All right, BTG came up with this. I'm adding one caveat.
Okay.
Always got to make it harder for Retep.
Yeah. I'm going to lose this one. All right, here we go. You are building a creature. They are going to do battle in freshwater.
Oh.
So you must choose elements from 3 freshwater animals to just fight till death, man. That's
Love
it.
Love it.
Your life depends on it.
Love
They're
it.
protecting you. Okay, but here's what
Great.
you're going to do. You're going to pick a body, and the animal's going to scale to the size of that body.
Oh.
You're going to pick a head. You know what comes with the head? The teeth, the venom. I don't know.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep.
Everything
Yep.
that's in the head. And you're going to pick no limbs. You're going to pick a power, a special ability.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay? Of
Okay.
one. And all 3 have to be freshwater animals. And the battle is happening in the river in Oswego, New York, the town that I'm from.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
So there's a lot of piss and shit and beer in it.
Yeah, and basically turds and snakeheads, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty
pretty much.
much. So here's the order we're going to go in.
Mm.
BTG first.
Oh no!
Forrest second. Papa P third.
Wow, this is great.
And Mr. Peter Fitzer's going to have plenty of time
I
to
gotta
type loudly as
I
he
got a reprieve.
goes to askjeeves.com.
I
Bradley,
feel like
what are you going to do?
I feel like a prick, but I'm just gonna obviously hippo.
You fucker.
Yeah.
Well,
Does that
that's your head count. That's your body. What are you going for?
That's my body.
You're just going huge. Just
Yep.
going huge.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Hippo body.
You son of a bitch.
I mean, I
Got
didn't
it.
think you'd ever let me go first. I thought there's no way.
Okay.
Well, I had
It's my
privately
birthday and
texted
stuff,
these
I
guys. I
guess.
said, let's let the hippo take the hippo.
Sitting here in my shorts, feeling good about myself.
Forrest, you're second. We didn't put you last for once.
That's okay. Yeah, I got to think about it now. All right. So, okay. So it's head, body, special ability, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Great. Got it. Okay. I like it. Very simple for me. I'm going to come in at a different approach, and I'm going to win this, no question. And I am
Okay.
going to take the body. Kyle,
Of a tapeworm.
you didn't pull up a picture of a hippo. You're already fucking failing at your job. You piece of
He
shit.
did actually.
No,
That
he
was,
did.
He
That
did.
he
Oh,
almost
I was
instantly.
writing.
But
I was writing.
That was gratuitous abuse.
If you
It
hate
was also
Forrest,
the
please leave a
fastest
comment.
he's ever pulled up a photo. It was so instant.
He
Yeah.
had hippo pre-queued. All right.
Oh.
I am going to pick the body of a freshwater pipefish.
Okay, I like that.
Freshwater pipefish. Mhm.
Never heard of it. I must see if what in the hell.
No, that's a
Narrow.
pike. No.
That's a pike. P-I-P-E.
Kyle, you're
Pipe.
fucking fired.
He's an owner. He can't be.
There we go.
What are you doing?
Yep.
What are you doing here, man? You're getting too
I don't
cute.
know, but
What
I
are
think
you doing?
I think we can both guess that his attack's going to be
Okay.
rectal. That's what I'm saying.
God damn it. How do you know already?
If you're only
all right, very
listening
good.
to the podcast,
All
you
right.
have to come and look at the picture to understand
Of
that.
a pipefish. It literally looks like a pipette.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with special ability.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm going to take the special ability of a diving bell spider. Because I want my animal, which this is the only arachnid that lives completely underwater, does come to the surface from time to time to get some air. I want my animal to have the ability to encase itself in a bubble while it's attacked, such as the diving bell spider.
Okay.
I don't know how it's going to deploy that. I just think it's cool, and I Googled it.
Do you want to hear a funny story about that species?
Yes. Well, I have time to Google.
So,
more.
like as with most spiders, the male is tiny, the female is big. And he gets on top and he wants to copulate. And as you know, with spiders, they don't have a penis or anything. So they just put their sperm into their front, one of a better term, hands, their pedipalps, and they shove that into the genital opening, and that impregnates the female. But if she's not up for it and she won't stop for it, he's on top of her. He starts to whack the water with his legs to draw attention so that a fish will come and kill them both. And
What?
Yes.
That's
and so
crazy.
it's basically you either have sex with me right now or we both die. So yeah, it's I've never it's a
would you
suicidal
rather to the
brinksmanship.
max?
It's the most extraordinary it's the most extraordinary mating strategy I know of.
This is why we have BTG on the
It
podcast.
is. It really is. It really is.
All right, my
Jesus.
turn. Here we go.
All right.
And you're up
Come
for
on.
2. Come
Can
on.
you
Google.
explain it? Oh, I got to do 2. Okay, perfect. Actually, all right. So freshwater, a body. I'm going with a tortel, a turtle. The largest turtle you can think of, the biggest one.
Specific alligator snapping turtle,
the
giant
biggest
soft
one,
shell.
the biggest, most vicious one with a big hard shell that will defend it from attacks.
All right, we're gonna go alligator snapping turtle for you.
Okay,
Peter.
very nice. What's number 2, mate?
Okay, number 2. Hey, quiet over there. Hold on, I'm not reading anything over here. But number 2 will be the. Ooh, and this one's good. And what's the third thing that they need? They need a special ability.
Special ability, jaws or head and body.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with the head and jaws of a sawfish. Obvious
God damn
reasons.
it, Peter.
Its headed fish is a saw.
Oh, that's
which species? There's only one that goes into fresh water. Which species?
Pristiidae.
Oh yes.
Of course. Very good.
Did you write the
head
paper?
of a sawfish? Yeah.
All right. That's pretty
It has a rostrum snout covered in teeth.
Well,
this is from the top of my head, which it
a
uses
rostrum is a snout. It's like saying a nose rostrum snout. It's just the same thing. But I
tell
like it.
Google because maybe he'll care.
So my animal that's going to be encased in a bubble of its own protection and making will
not
be
more protection than a turtle. Just saying.
Turtle's soft underbelly, pretty weak. Will be the size of an arapaima, up to 440 pounds.
That's a lot of feet. That's a lot of don't argue, and they're pretty tough fish too.
Yeah, up to 10 feet long. I'm just like, give me an arapaima. It will encase itself in a bubble.
Big boy.
Wait till you see the head. Forrest.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a largemouth bass. It's not very intimidating.
Yeah,
huge.
Except that it's like 20 largemouth bass.
It's very big. All right, so I have the body of a pipefish. I am going to give it. Ooh, which one do I pick first? The head of a candiru. Now the candiru.
What the hell is that?
It's a full rectal fucking urethra attack.
Yep,
the vampire fish.
Attack. So it has the head of a candiru, which means that it is constantly seeking out urea, swimming up the pee-pee hole.
Oh my God!
Isn't that mostly urban myth? Isn't that mostly
No. It's very rare, but it is not mostly urban myth.
But not people though. It's mainly the apertures of various large in the gills, right?
So typically, what they do is they're a parasitic catfish that lodge themselves into the gills of fish. But fish gills emit urea the same as human urine, so they'll gladly go up the pee-pee.
This is, I'm not saying this is what you always do because I've only come on here every now and then, but you do always do it when I come on. You pick these obscure attacks that take days or weeks. So now I've got to store dick.
I don't know how you're going to get in my turtle's penis urethra.
This will not take days.
Right.
You will see.
Okay. You haven't
at my
seen
next
his
pick.
full picture
right.
yet.
Oh, I know what you're going to pick.
I've got body of a hippo, and my special power is electric eel. Thanks for coming.
Very good.
Oh, and you got another pick. Learn how it works. Come on.
Okay.
Round it out.
And the jaws are of a mugger crocodile. A mugger crocodile.
Ooh,
what is that?
That's mean mugging.
It is an Indian crocodile that predominantly lives in fresh water, and it is a badass. It is the meanest of all pure freshwater crocodiles.
They're nasty animals.
Okay, because I was flying too close to this. Oh, Forrest is up. Fuck.
Yeah, but
crocodiles are out now, right?
Crocs are out now.
You can go for a special species if you want, because I mean, you pick a Johnson's or something lame like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
You love the wrong crocodile.
Yeah, you love the wrong croc.
This is why I had to take this unique approach, because there's no way that an electric-powered Jaws mugger crocodile hippo body is going to be defeated in pure
force. You're going to put a little tampon string on the back of your fish? What are you going to do with it?
Well, why don't you just hold on here for a second?
I know what he's going to do. Go.
All right, Peter, you got to freak out if either way.
If I'm right
or wrong.
I'm off the
All
podcast.
right, so my pipefish-bodied candiru-headed fish creature has the special ability of a pufferfish. That's right.
Ooh,
he goes right in there.
A freshwater
pufferfish. Yep, freshwater pufferfish.
I'm not familiar with a freshwater pufferfish.
Faraka, something like that. Kyle, you have to Google it.
Sounds legit.
Yep. So my little guy goes swimming up your urethra, lodges himself in. He's this long, and boom, inflates.
I like
take
it.
That.
I like
take
it.
that in your dick hole. Take that in your dick hole.
I thought you were going to go with the archer fish. and
Why?
be able to shoot with accuracy
What
to get
the
into
water?
the urethra.
But
Interesting.
that just
Nope,
that just
didn't go
spits
that way.
water out of his face, Protect. What
Well, then you
damage could
just.
that possibly
I think you
do?
might just.
Oh no,
might
you're
just pee it right
spitting the
out.
little candida herpes things that he's doing into
No,
the
that's the whole
urethra
fish.
with
That's-
astonishing accuracy.
Yeah. Also, he's herpes didn't. How did you get herpes in this?
How
Pat,
is it
you don't
always
pay
comes
attention.
back to
All right, so
herpes?
what am I up for? One here?
None
I'm gonna
yet.
look up
No,
None
it's
yet.
not your turn.
Yeah. Zero.
All right.
Okay. So I've got my big 440-pound, 10-foot long body encased in a bubble to protect itself. I'm just gonna give it the head. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if this is out of line. Let me give it the head of a bull shark. Can I do that?
Yes,
Is that a freshwater?
Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it
allow
can
it.
be.
Like,
Well, it's
yeah,
only
but-
in a slightly salty river.
Nope.
You get
Nope.
them
They
in
can go
fresh
pure
water, but they can only
freshwater.
stay there for like a few weeks, and they got to
Fine,
go.
you have that.
I don't think
as,
this battle is lasting more than 5 minutes, boys.
All right, well, that's
Yeah,
one of your
he's
weaknesses.
got it.
But
I am-
remember,
That's fine.
I
he's
am-
getting weaker and weaker every 5 minutes too.
I am.
As
That's valid.
Eats Forrest's pasta noodle
I have-
instantly.
I have to say though, I had to fact check the freshwater pufferfish because I was not familiar with it. And correct, they do contain tetrodotoxin, which is the classic
poison one.
fatal poison that
Fugu.
kills you. So,
Fugu,
assuming
yep.
that you clench your urethra around his penis fish, it could potentially be fatal.
Or I'll just puff up and explode your dick. So, you know.
Well, he could eat it and you
Yeah.
could puff up in his throat.
Every
That's it.
weekend.
Yeah.
Every
You're
weekend.
All
I
right,
think Forrest is
not
going to be a
winning.
tough contender to
Peter,
to
round
beat.
out your needlepoint sharp-tailed bat and
That's not
herpes.
what I picked at all. I have a
Good
very
one.
defensive turtle that will. I mean, nobody eats a turtle, and
one's
except for like an
fast.
idiot human.
Crocodiles
uh,
eat them all the time.
And
Tiger
then I
sharks.
have a sawfish
swim
for
really quick.
for the face. And the only thing I'm wondering here is, do I want to go with a defensive mechanism or an offensive mechanism? Kyle, what do you think? Just put it in the chat. Defense or offense here?
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
My advice is to choose the stupidest one.
Offense,
Offense,
baby.
baby.
Stupid. All right, well, I'm going offense
Yeah.
then, and I'm going to go with the electric catfish. That's right, the Malapaturiidae, which I knew off the top of my head.
Shows how much he was listening earlier.
You texted me about it
Let's-
earlier.
Let's give it to him now.
Oh yeah, I wasn't listening at all to anything anyone was
but you know,
saying.
but by definition, you went with defense, right? So
What do you mean?
That's
No,
right.
the electric saw, I think, begs to differ.
I know what he's
It's an
doing here.
electric
All right.
saw with a shell for a body.
It doesn't move. It's not a
good.
hedge trimmer, Protep.
Dude, it can release an electric current and zap
He
you.
makes the teeth move around the rostrum like
It's
a
like a
Well, I hadn't thought of that, Forrest, but
underwater
that's
hedge
true.
trimmer. That's not how
It's
it
like,
works,
oh,
mate.
it's like, this will power it. Yeah.
But I do just want to say my second choice was the freshwater prawn. And just because people like facts on the podcast, possesses the ability to regenerate lost limbs. You could cut the saw off and it would regrow. Your stupid alligator could bite it off. It would regrow.
That's a good extrapolation.
I gotta say,
Brosters-
I'm surprised that no one, including myself, took a pistol shrimp because that would have been at scale.
Pat
True.
always picks pistol shrimp too.
I know.
An atomic bomb. I mean, you imagine if the hippo had pistol shrimp feet. I feel like I missed the boat on that one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Just
weigh
launches
in,
itself.
Brosters. Let us know who you think won tonight's Battle Royale. Was it BTG's hippo-bodied, electric eel-powered mugger crocodile? Was it Forrest's
bad boy.
body of a pipefish with the head of a kangaroo and the ability to puff up and explode your dick?
Forest penis
Was
fish.
it? Yeah.
Sounds terrible. I
It
don't
really
like it.
does. Was it Papa P's diving bell spider, which I'm not sure how this plays into the other because it gives them the ability to dive.
It
Looks cool.
just gets a little
Yep.
bubble
It's,
around it.
it's
The
fresh. I
arapimid
thought it was a
body
fresh idea.
with a
That's
bull
lame.
shark head.
You'd
Or
find it in a
Peter, who
seafood
actually
store.
came out pretty formidable in the end, an
right.
alligator snapping turtle with this head of a sawfish, which is powered by an electric catfish. Weigh
That's
in,
right.
let us know.
Can I just
who won.
say that I love a lot of fresh ideas. The spider and the penis fish. I love it. The one fatal flaw with Forrest's weaponized creature is that unless one of our species is taking a piss, it's
true.
not going to do anything.
It's true.
It's just gonna swim around.
Well, I think
frustrated.
when they see mine, they gon' pee, dog.
Does a turtle's dick even come out, or is it just
it's
like pee
massive.
from
It's
its
a freaking
butt?
massive
no,
dick
it's
that goes.
pretty-
It's huge.
Actually,
Too much dick talk.
No,
Sorry.
you know what, Kyle? Pull up sulcata tortoise dick if we want to. I think this is a nature podcast. You want to see something
Absolutely.
impressive?
It's one of nature's more impressive phallus. It really is.
As the
It's,
layman, I want to know what a turtle penis
It could
looks
hold
like
a can
right
of fat tire. That's how big it is.
Cheers, mates.
You're gonna
Really?
see it in a second here. Yeah. Oh, I thought he was gonna do a video. The videos are far more impressive.
That looks like Pat's dick. Wait. You're talking
God,
about the little
we are
circle one?
derailed. It's coming back. We are derailed here.
Anyway,
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
There you go.
Oh,
Look
is
at
he
that
getting a
sucker.
blowjob?
There
What
you
is
go.
that
There
thing?
you go.
Oh, it's horrific.
That's
I
a
mean,
lot
I
of-
love nature, but that's
Look
horrific.
that
like
is
a
a lot of
stingray.
don't argue in the pants. It really is.
Well, gentlemen, let's do the thing. We got to wrap this up. It's late. Our wives and our children are calling.
Yeah.
Do the thing.
I don't even know what to say. Go to the Wild Times podcast. No, go to wildtimes.club/info to find links to all the shit where you can find our podcast. Do not forget to check out the additional 4 podcasts we do a week on Spotify. You can subscribe there. You can subscribe on Patreon. We love you. Sign up for a member on YouTube.
For a month. You said for a week.
That's definitely not for a week. I'd kill myself. It's for a month. But be sure and check out fucking BTG's podcast.
June
Right.
20th. Kyle, what time?
June
Semi-indestructible, premiering June 20th, wherever you get your podcast, wherever you get your Wild Times, it's part of the Wild Times family. And as I always say, life is short, death is forever. Get amongst it.
1 p.m. on June 20th. I don't know what time zone, but that's Kyle's fault. PST, Pacific Standard Time.
How do you not know the fucking time?
I'm going to be
We all
live.
live in
I'm going to
California.
be there. I'm going to be chatting. So will BTG. He didn't.
Oh, I
agree
can't
to
wait.
this,
We're going to
but yeah.
premiere it like an episode where we can interact. Forrest won't be there because he never comes, but me and Pat
True.
will be there
Nice.
and BTG because we just told him right now, BTG, about him being there, but he will be there now for sure.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. See the
All right,
comments.
everybody. Good pod, good laughs, good people.
pod.
New
Love you guys.
pod.
Great fun. Thank you.
Hope you
Thank
feel
you, buddy.
better. Good night.
Good night. Like Bill.
Hydrocodone.
Boom. I got him. You need him.
Like,
Good price.
That's
Can I
like
come
the
over tonight?
Kirkland brand ibuprofen. It's not even the real shit.
Yeah, it is actually. It's 1,000 tablets.
Oh, man.
Jesus Christ, dude.